Hello guys, Bashar here. So we are growing rather fast these days. Thank you very much for your interest. So what I wanted to do guys, I want to do some lightning speed series, as you might have guessed right. I did how to gain frenzy charges. Now I'm gonna go over something that is common in all lightning speed variants, the spirit management, right? And then I will be doing three separate videos for three variants that I think are the best. Of course, there are hundreds of variants out there, but I wanna enumerate and go over the three big ones. But so why do I do these separate videos that are not actually build variants, right? The frenzy charges thing and the spirit thing. So the thing is, this is common in all of them. I don't want you to spend the time sifting through my 50-minute videos to find the explanation that is important to you, right? If this is the thing that you are looking for. So the frenzy charges, because these are not very much explained in the guides I have seen out there, the frenzy charges thing. The spirit is, I suppose, self-explanatory, but I wanted to go in depth over it, so let's not waste too much time. So guys, as you know, we get 100 from the campaign, right? And we can get a little bit of extra from the amulet and the chest, right, the body armor. And also there are variants out there, the expensive variants out there that use Sacred Flame for more spirit. So how to approach this situation? So guys, what is a must? So I grouped up my spirit thingies down below. So guys, what is a must? Herald of Thunder is a must. Combat Frenzy is a must. And I would say, even though it's not a literal must, I would say Ghost Dance should definitely be included, right? It gives a nice amount of energy shield when we are hit. So guys, for example, if you have, so let me just fully max it out. Let me max out my tailwind. Oops, what am I doing here? Okay guys, my evasion is 13,000, and that will mean I will be getting 900 energy shield when I'm hit. Right? It's a nasty, not nasty, sorry, I meant nice. It's a nice amount, right? It's a big amount. So you want Ghost Dance, so I Herald of Thunder is third spirit, Combat Frenzy is third spirit, and Ghost Dance is third spirit. So 90 is, I would say, definitely required. I'm not going into the gems that require spirit. We will get to those later. So guys, what I would go, if you are going for a relatively budget version, and when I say relatively budget, I mean less than 10 divine in cost, right? Could probably get it down to like 5 or something, but that would start falling a little bit short. I would just get an amulet with spirit on it. I wouldn't go for a body armor with spirit, because that would lose your potential to get evasion and energy shield from it. And as you know, Beacon of Aziz is very popular, right? And it's also cheap. So, and Beacon of Aziz has something ranging between 40 to 45 spirit. I'm not including corruptions. It can go a little bit above 45. It can go a little bit below 40, but that's the general idea. And that would allow you to bring Wind Dancer in the mix, right? Or you could just get a rare amulet with projectile skills and whatnot with some spirit on it. And I think the minimum amount of spirit an amulet can have is around 30. So we have 100 from the campaign, and 30 more will definitely allow us to utilize Wind Dancer. So that's what the budget versions should go for. So we have two expensive thingies, and I'm sure you have seen Raw in a lot of the builds. Cast on Critical is a little bit more rare, but it's also widely used. So guys, what Raw Mount does is you hop on it. First of all, guys, the what it limits, right? So as you can see, it grays out all of these skills, right? I cannot use them. I don't have lightning speed on my bars because I think I have lent the gem. That's why you don't see it here. So what it allows you is to use both skills, mark skills, and thrown spear skills. You know, it's that specific. You cannot use spear stab, but you can use spear throw. Let me put it here. As you can see, spear throw is usable. So, yeah. And guys, dodge rolling is not allowed. Portaling is not allowed. I mean, when I say not allowed, I mean it dismounts you. That's what I mean. And also, and you're also immune to light stance. So guys, if you don't know what the difference is between light stance and heavy stance, because they are not very nicely explained. So guys, any hit that is done against you can inflict a light stun. And a light stun just interrupts what you're doing and prevents, you from controlling the character for a very short time, fraction of a second, right? And heavy stuns, normally players are immune to heavy stuns, but on the raw mount you are susceptible to heavy stun. And when you are on the raw mount, right, the heavy stun will build up here. Okay, I was just checking if my camera was in the way. And when it fills, you get knocked off the mount and you are not able to control your character for a whopping 3 seconds. And also in the meantime, you are not able to dodge blows, which generally translates to you will die, right? I mean, if there are multiple monsters around you, you will die, right? I mean, as soon as you notice the heavy stun, exit to character selection, right? Immediately, right? Or you will die. But if there is like 1 or 2 monsters about and you have a decent amount of energy like me, you can survive it, right? I mean, if the boss heavy stuns you, for example, you can survive it, right? Even though it's a little bit surprising. But of course, if it's a big hit, you will die. I wanted to go over this. I will go over in the video separately as well. But guys, if you are using the raw mount, a stun charm is useless for you. Why? Because a stun charm does not remove stun from you. What it does is it makes you immune to further stuns for 3 seconds. And so guys, when you're on foot, it's nice. Why? Because I'm going around, they hit me, they stun me, I take that stun in, I lose a fraction of a second, but then I am immune to further stuns for 3 seconds, which means if I'm surrounded, I won't be getting stunned for 3 more seconds. And in the meanwhile, I will probably be killing whatever monsters are around me. So yeah, it's useful, right? It's useful that way. But on a heavy stun, on a mount, it's literally and absolutely useless. Why, guys? I'm immune to light stuns, literally, right? The raw mount prevents you from being light stunned. And when you get heavy stunned, it doesn't remove the stun, but makes me immune to further stuns for 3 seconds, but I cannot control my character for 3 seconds anyway. So what does it do? It does nothing, right? So there are a lot of people that get this wrong. And there are a lot of guys that use stun charms. Do not use stun charms if you are going to include the mount. It's useless. As you can see, I have gone for freeze charm, bleed charm, and slow charm here. The unique version of this one is very good, but sadly also 40 divine. Keep in mind. Anyway, the last, well, not the literal last, I will explain myself. The last persistent thing that we want to utilize is cast on critical. Keep in mind, when you quality cast on critical, the reservation gets reduced by 10%, so the reservation cost goes down to 90 spirit from 100, right? As you can see. So, you can assume cast on critical's cost is 90, right? Raw amount is 60, the other stuff is 30. So, for example, it's 30, 60, 90, 120, 180, and 270. I will explain this in the video, how I have 255 here, and I can turn them all on when it's time. So guys, cast on critical is for bosses only, so it's a huge luxury, right? So guys, raw mount helps with mapping, right? It's a useful idea. Cast on critical is bosses only, you'll see. So guys, instead of doing the sniper's mark ourselves, we do the cast on critical, and the cast on critical casts the sniper's mark for us, right? So that's what it's for. Because the thing is, guys, I do have a special video for this. If you want to peruse that video, but so the build requires, all variants of Lightning Spear requires Frenzy Charges, because both the map clear ability, Lightning Spear, and the boss killer abilities, be it Stormlance or Wind Serpent's Fury, right? They all require Frenzy Charges, so you need to gain Frenzy Charges. And while mapping it's easy, you utilize combat frenzy, and that gives you frenzy charges, right? And you know, there are methods I have explained in the video. You can utilize Herald of Thunder, you can use Kitokos Current, you can use Call of the Brotherhood, whatever it is, right? And you can make this work. But the problem is, how am I going to freeze, electrocute, or pin a boss, right? Even if I can do it, I'm gonna do it very rarely, and the build will become dysfunctional. So I need something to give me frenzy charges during boss fights as well. So that comes from Sniper's Mark, and so it doesn't, yeah. So as you can see, mark a target, the next critical, it consumes the mark to deal extra damage and grant you a frenzy charge. So that's how you gain frenzy charges during boss fights. And if you do not utilize cast on critical, you will have to keep casting Sniper's Mark yourself. It's a chore. I mean, it can be done, right? And you know, in one of my build variants that is somewhat cheaper, we will definitely do the cast on critical. We will definitely do the Sniper's Mark ourselves. But it's a nice thing, right? To do if you have the spirit, but it's a huge luxury, and obviously it cannot be done without any Sacred Flame variants. So guys, if you have a 140, 150 spirit, you want to bring the raw amount in, I would suggest leaving Wind Dancer out. I mean, let's say if you have 150, right? And that cannot be achieved. Well, that probably can be achieved, but you know, it has to be a really good corrupted Beacon of Aziz. I don't know the cap. I don't know if it can go 50, but if it can go 50, you could do Herald of Thunder, Combat Frenzy, Ghost Dance, and Raw Mount, right? That does add up to 150. But you know what I would go for is Herald of Thunder, Wind Dancer, Combat Frenzy, Ghost Dance, and some Spirit Reserving support gems. This skill is not to be trifled with, right? Raw Mount. It will kill you many times until you get used to it. It still kills me. And you know, you will be surprised at the pace that you will die. Because guys, normally we have around 80% evasion, and our perception is used to that damage reduction, right? So evasion does not give us literal damage reduction, but you know, I'm dodging 80% of the hits. That prevents a lot of damage coming my way, right? And you have none of it, right? So the character is extremely squishy, right? Even on a scale like this, right? My life plus energy shield add up to above 5,000, and I will die in about 1.5 seconds, I think, because there is no armor. So raw mount, have to be careful with it. So guys, let's say you have some leftover spirit, right? So for example, guys, you went for a Beacon of Aziz with 45 spirit, and you took my advice and you did Herald of Thunder, Wind Dancer, Combat Frenzy, and Ghost Dance. So you have spent 120 spirit, and now you have 25 spirit left over. So what shall you do? So there are some gems that reserve spirit, right? I mean, it's a support gem. You put in a skill that reserves spirit, and it makes that skill reserve more spirit. So there are these, right? So as you can see, I put them in the Sacred Flames implicit ability, right? And when you do these in implicit abilities, they do not cost any spirit. So because this main thing doesn't cost spirit, the additional gems that reserve spirit do not reserve any spirit as well. So I am doing these at 0 cost. So in my build variants, you'll see we'll be utilizing a keystone passive called Eternal Youth that prevents your energy shield from regenerating, but you can drink a life flask to fill up your energy shield. Because the build is very high paced, guys, you do not have the time to wait around for the energy shield regen to start, right? It's a little bit too slow, so that speeds up the process and gives us energy shield. So that's why I have herbalism in, right? Herbalism, cannibalism, these are pretty nice, right? And take a look at the reservation costs, they are a little bit different. I would not go for vitality, which is for 20 spirit, it gives you 1% life regen. So guys, when you're playing an energy shield evasion hybrid, you do not want your energy shield to break, right? I mean, you should be taking you should not be taking damage to your life, very frequently. So, and also guys, when we have eternal youth, herbalism and our life flask should keep us afloat, right? So, but try to use all of your extra spirit. So guys, if you have 45 spirit extra from your amulet, so you have 145, you took my advice and you spent 120, so you have 25 left over. So what you can do is, for example, herbalism plus clarity, right? Clarity is not very good if you are an Amazon, right? Because there are different variants with Amazon. Definitely precision is required. So you should be doing, for example, herbalism and precision if you have 25 spirit extra, right? If you have 20 spirit extra, you could just do, vitality, or you could do precision plus clarity. So precision is much more valuable in, what's the name? Hunters, because, you get more crit chance from accuracy, which we will get to in the build. So try to get this spirit as close to as 0 as possible. But if you are, as I said, utilizing the eternal youth keystone, the life regen one is not as good, the life per kill one is not as good, because you will take damage and you will immediately drink your life flask to fill up your energy shield, and try to use 30% of recovery applied instantly sort of flask, right? That's pretty nice. Should I have here, as you can see. Okay, I think that's what I have to say about spirit. And of course, if you have a sacred flame, if you are playing the expensive version, just tuck these in, right? And if you then have leftover spirit, you can just put them in, whatever you can put it in combat frenzy, you can put them in ghost dance. It doesn't really matter. And obviously, guys, you should be putting vitality in here because it costs 20 and it costs 0 because it's in purity of fire. So, if you have 10 leftover spirit, for example, you can do them all. There is an option of putting Deadly Herald in Herald of Thunder. That gives you more damage from Herald of Thunder at the cost of 20 spirit. But Herald of Thunder's gems are generally decided. But yeah, you can do it, right? You can leave. You cannot leave this combo out. Innervate is also very popular, so you could take, I guess, Execute out in favor of Deadly Herald if you have the spirit. Your call. So yeah, that's about it when it comes to spirit. I will just go over it again. If you are playing a relatively low budget version, I would go for Herald of Thunder, Combat Frenzy, Ghost Dance, and then the last power will be Wind Dancer. You can sacrifice 2 of these in favor of a raw mount, or if you have exactly 150, right, you can just leave Wind Dancer out and do Herald of Thunder, Combat Frenzy, Ghost Dance, and raw mount. That's also possible. This is very luxurious and definitely should be saved for Sacred Flame variants. You can just manually do this. You can just manually cast your Sniper's Mark without doing cast on critical. So this version is a lazy and expensive version. You do not do any weapon swaps. You do not cast stuff. Right? You just Lightning Spear for maps, and you do this combo, and the bosses will die. You'll see when I record and upload the video. So that's about it, guys. And I think we do not need any further ado, right? We did go over the frenzy charges. We did go over the spirit. Now the build videos can come, and I will see you in those. See ya. Bye bye.